Looney here, and welcome to Project Motor Racing on, well, on a PS5. Yes, it's I have been graciously given early access to Project Motor Racing from Straight Force Studios and Giant Software. Thank you to the team there as a Giants partner. As a lowly regular partner, I was given access. So again, thank you. So this is quite different than anything else I've ever played. Now, I've only really played Forza before, mostly Gran Turismo. So I'm a Gran Turismo from the very first PlayStation PS1 all the way to now Gran Turismo 7. So if you're used to playing that, you should be pretty okay with this, although this is definitely a step up from that, and we will show you a bit of that. So this is your main menu, and it's going to ask you whether you are a beginner, intermediate, or professional. Even if you have experience in racing, pick beginner to start with because it's a fairly steep learning curve. As I said, I'm on a PS5. I'm using a controller. I've always played with a controller. So settings. Down in the bottom right corner of your screen, we'll have L3. You want to go into that right away. Audio is audio. Assists. If you're starting out, just leave them all force on. If you want manual transmission or automatic, I prefer manual transmission. I have reset, we'll talk about control bindings in a minute. Pit limiter, just put it on. Leave them all on for now. Especially the racing line, especially if you're not familiar with the track. It's all up to you, but just starting out, even if you have experience in racing games, leave them all on at first, and then you can start turning things off. It's like, oh, this is too easy. Then you can go back in and start turning things off and everything. Control bindings. Now, this is interesting, even for control. See, it says DualSense wireless controller. That's what I have installed. It recognizes that automatically. And then you can pick your triggers. Now I have pretty much everything set up. I'm gonna compare it to Gran Turismo 7 because that's what I've been playing for the last 30 years. But here we go. We got clutch, which doesn't. I think. Well, I'm on a controller. I won't use a clutch. I never use handbrake. Steering, that's your left joystick. That's okay. Camera switch is R1, which is I'm used to. Look back camera, press the R3. Okay. Pause. Yeah, that's good. These were reversed, gear up and gear down. Default, I just switched them because this is the configuration on Gran Turismo, so that's what I did. Pit limiter toggle, if you have it on automatic, you don't need. Otherwise, you can assign something, although there is a limited number of buttons on a controller. So you are, yeah, you could probably, yeah, you'd have to sacrifice one of the other buttons. So that's a limited, that's the limitations of having a controller. As a matter of fact, the only thing that I don't have assigned here is my L1, which you could probably use as a pit limiter toggle. Right. Input device settings. This is going to be a whole rat's nest of stuff here that a lot of it does not apply to controller that I found, at least as much as I can tell. I've been playing around with some of this effects driving. I wouldn't touch any of this actually to start off with, to be quite honest with you. If you are going to go in and change something, do one thing at a time and little bits to see, or you could just change one thing a lot to see if it does anything. Yeah. Anyways, you can always reset to default by pressing triangle, and it should reset everything. Preferences, subtitles. So there's some audio or some dialogue in this game, so you can have Imperial or metric. I'm used to looking at Imperial, even though I live in Canada and everything's metric. Crossplay enabled, online terms and services. Yes, we did that. Okay, so that's basics. If you want to go to jump right into it, let's get to racing. I would. Everybody wants to jump into the fastest car, and I would say, oh, we can choose our deliveries here. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I've only had this game a day, and I've been playing it. So we have our various cars, and everybody wants to go into the fast cars right away. And I would recommend no. This is probably not bad. I have some downloadable content. There are already some mods installed. This is what I have installed. Updates, downloads, category. We got vehicles, package, liveries, career, events, vehicles. So we have three. The only one that you can get right now until things start opening up. This is again pre. We have some liveries you can download, which is cool. Career events. There's a Daytona 250 that I have downloaded. So that's an endurance race. Yes, okay. So that's cars. Single player, we're going to go to race weekend, which is a single race. Again, R1 and R2. Everybody wants to go and pick like a fast Porsche or Corvette or something like that. Don't do it. Go with the Mazda, the little MX-5. Why? Because that's a great one to learn on. Pick a track you are familiar with. Daytona's a little bit tough. I wouldn't go with Daytona right away. I would look for a smaller track if you don't know any tracks. Nuremberg is kind of tough. That Nuremberg Nordschleife is extremely long track. You want something probably short and nothing too hard. There's there's a lot of them. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. I've never raced that one before. Spa is a good one. So let's go Spa. Opponent's class and strength. Don't go at 100%. Start off at 70. If you're or even lower, if you just want to get used to the vehicle, just start off at maybe 50. You don't have to have identical vehicles. Gets a little confusing. Up to 15 cars so far on console. So we can choose your session length. And the weather, just leave everything. Just starting out, just leave everything as it is. These are going to be practice session, qualifying session, and then a race. As I said, this is just starting out. Even if you're an experienced racer. So, cockpit setup. Camera movement. Now, if you like in-cab, this is pretty much everything in-cab. Free look scale. It's like I would just leave all these as is. Seat position. If you want to change the seat position, you can change everything. Field of view, mirror. Let's see. We can go forward, back and forward. There's all sorts of stuff. If we go back here, then you can see your side mirrors. Honestly, HUD setup is you can choose what's on and off. I have everything on. HUD layout means this is a little bit tricky. I have changed it. I like I like the info right dead center of my screen and then stuff on the peripherals. So you can cycle through them and move it. See, we have that right top right one. I think that's rear view mirror. Then we have this tire temperature thing, and so you can go in and play around with that. But let's drive. Oh, vehicle setup. You want to go to engine and drivetrain. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Essentials, tire and chassis, you can change stuff. Don't touch any of that unless you know exactly what you're doing. Suspension, engine and drivetrain. This is the only thing I want you to go into, and you can scroll through here. Once you get to traction control, dial that puppy up to 10. Same thing with ABS. Dial it right up. Just put it to the max. If you don't like it, you can lower it down, but when you're starting out, just do that first. Pit setup, tires automatic. We can wet, auto, none, hard. Ooh, I wouldn't go with hard. I would just go auto. Yep. All this stuff, just leave it as is. Let's go for a drive. R1. That's R1. You have four views actually. You have in cab, on the roof, on the hood, which is almost what I like. I like bumper cam. That's as close as I'm going to get. I never ever play with behind the car camera. So you here you could look around. You can look around up here. You can look around up here. I never look around. Automatic transmission, or sorry, standard transmission. There we go. First gear. Pit limiter's automatically on. It will let go when you get out.
All clear.
Okay, watch it when it... Oh, yes. Force feedback on controller. I had it set to weak on in my system. It was, for me, it was still too much. So if you like the trigger resistance for brake and accelerator, then I haven't figured out how to make it stronger or weaker. Your tires are going to be super cold coming out of the pits. It's going to be slick and slippery till they warm up. Right now they're blue. When they turn green, you'll be better. Easy on the brakes too. Slamming on the brakes. Just going to make this thing go squirrely. So, light inputs. I've been racing for a few hours, practicing. And it takes light touch and sensitive moves. Don't sudden movements are going to put you into the wall. Don't touch the grass. Touch the grass, it's going to suck you in like a black hole into the whatever wall or gravel pit or something.
Final 5 minutes.
So see, the tires are starting to warm up a little bit. We're getting into, so just take it easy. Don't push it too hard the first lap. Your tires are super cold. They'll warm up. They're starting to warm up. They have temperatures there, but the color is really helpful. Once they're green, you don't really have to worry about brake temperatures or tire temperatures getting too much in the Miata. The Miata is pretty gentle to start off with. You're just learning how to take corners gently. Getting your braking zone. As I say, that the driving line is helpful. I don't always follow the driving line. It pretty much, especially on an unfamiliar track, it'll show you kind of where to go. This is the tricky part when you're coming out of corners. You don't want to overturn. You'll end up spinning out. So entering and exiting corners is probably one of the most important things in this game. You want to apply the accelerator steady but gently. Hard acceleration out of a corner is going to put you in a spin and you're going to end up in a wall. Ooh, there's the grass. Oh. And that's what happens when you touch grass. It will just suck you right in. And now my car is damaged. You get a trip. Oh, controller. You don't want an old, worn-out controller. Oh, you do not want an old, worn-out controller. Let's go back to pit. Go back to pit. It'll fix your car. But during a race, you're gonna be pooched if you do that. You're gonna hit the wall. You're gonna have to be fighting with a bad driving car. Whoa. What else? Yeah. Worn out controller. You don't want a controller that's gonna have stick drift or anything that's just gonna drive you nuts. But yeah, curves is okay. I turned off vibration as well because I couldn't get it to not constantly vibrate, which made my hands numb actually. So it's up to you. The vibration, so this is an early look. It's not going to be released for they're likely still working on tweaking a few things. So and this is the conditions of early access. It's not a criticism. I'm not going to criticize anything in this game actually. I've been given an early access to it, so I'm just learning the game. It's a new game. It's a simulation. It's a driving simulation, a racing car simulation. Racing cars is not
1
easy.
minute remaining in the session.
It's difficult. Even for professional drivers. So this game is going to challenge you, and I am up for the challenge. And I know that they're working on to improve this game right now. So I really like
Second flag out. Session is done.
Before race, the qualifying, the standard starts. I know there's been some talk about rolling starts. I'm actually absolutely sick of rolling starts because that's all that Gran Turismo does is rolling starts. And this is true race style. And so you can stop, return to pit. You can stop anytime and go to the next. So we're gonna go to the next, and we're gonna do We're going to do the qualifying. So we got a good time. Did we get a good time? No, we did. We had terrible time. We're 16th. We didn't even register a time. Next session. All right. Let's see if we can get a qualifying time in. Now there's no collision in the pits, so don't worry about that. But once you hit this line,
Hammer down now.
don't cross any lines. There is penalties, and no bumping and grinding cars. That's going to damage your car and affect your handling badly. So again, remember, cold tires. The first lap is going to be a warm-up lap. You can go fast, but don't push it. Be easy in the corners. No tachometer, well, the tachometer is that orange bar you see going up and down, which is, honestly, I'm used to the Gran Turismo having tachometer and speedometer and that kind of stuff in the middle. So that's a little getting used to. I don't know if that's going to change. Ooh. But that's the way it is. So I like the fact that you can move around. I put it dead center. It's typically up to the right side corner. So that's where I put it. I like how you can move stuff around. You don't even have to. If you don't like if you don't like one of the things in the HUD, you can just turn it off and move it to an a little loss of concentration and boom. And my steering's off, I think. And believe me when I say this is the least twitchy of the cars. It is. So that's why I say start with the Mazda. I'm sure we'll have more. Like there's more cars coming. The great thing about this game that I'm excited about is the mods. So mods are people design cars and tracks to be added to the game. They go through a testing process by Straight 4 Studios, Giant Software.
Qualifying lap underway. This one counts.
Okay, this is our qualifying lap. It's with my experience for Farming Simulator, which is a Giant Software game, and I have mods. It's going to be very similar to that from what I've been told. Oh, grass again. Oh. Okay, we're toast. Oh. Restart. Let's restart. Oh, at least you can restart. Thank goodness for that. So there is some forgiveness. There's no rewind or anything. Okay, well, so restart the qualifying. We totally screwed up that one. I'd like to have a nice, clean, hot lap. That would be nice. So, again, release is on the 25th. Today is the 22nd. Look at my computer screen now. distracted. This is the 22nd. I got the game on the 21st. Been playing it some. Haven't played any multiplayer. I know there's been a few streamers and so forth doing stuff. Again, a lot of guys have, I've seen a lot of guys jump into this game and jump into like a GT1 car and just totally fail because it's hard. It's a learning process. So you're gonna have to spend some time in this little Mazda, like some hours, learning how the car works, learning how the physics, the driving mechanics, the brakes, accelerator, the suspension, what it feels like going over curves. If you're used to playing Forza or Need for Speed, this is going to be a bit of a challenge for you. This is a driving simulator game. This is the closest thing that I've ever tried or played to a simulator. Now years, I mean years, when I say years ago, 40 years ago or so, when I was just a little fella wandering the malls, there was an arcade game called Hard Driving. And there was steering wheel pedals on an arcade game. You sat down in a chair and you had a steering wheel, a gear shift lever. There was force, like it felt like it was not there was non-power steering. You were in a
on the
Corvette.
block, mate. Full send this lap.
And you went through this driving course, and it was feedback. It was hard. And you said hard driving. So this reminds me of that the tires were not very grippy. Now these tires, like I say, when you just start out, you've got cold tires, so you gotta wait for the tires to warm up. And you go off track a little bit, like you've seen, touch the grass, you're gonna go, it's gonna suck you in. So, small inputs on the controller. Now, the driving line turns, as you've noticed, turns red as you're approaching somewhere where it thinks you should be stopping, so it's probably a good idea to slow down at least. But once you get used to it, you could push that depending on the state of your tire temperature and your grip. Sometimes it just means you let off the gas, tap the brake a little bit, downshift.
Five minutes left in the session.
Downshifting too fast or too hard. In this car, not as punishing. But once you get into the higher powered cars, if you downshift too fast, it'll lock up your back tires and then it'll send you off into the corner and you're done. So, all of these things are learning. That's why you start out with the smaller, lower powered cars to start learning, relearning. I have to relearn. It's relearning all of this. It is not an arcade game. It is a driving simulator. Let's see, how did we do? Did we even register?
Timing screen shows you're the quickest car on track right now.
I got the original pole. Not a little less than a second, which is actually, if you need to watch Formula One, having that kind of lead is usually pretty good. And we got another 3 minutes. We'll make another lap, see if we can improve on our lap time, and then we'll do a race. And racing is different. Now, right now I haven't made any pit stops or tried to doing any pit stops. You don't need to do any pit stops at this point in the game when you're just starting out. Tires will last you a full race. Fuels, your vehicle is pre-filled with fuel. You're not going to need to. Whoa! Oh, well, there goes our. Whoa! He hit me. Unsafe entry onto the racing. Well, that's it. So let's go back to the pit.
That's pole, mate. Amazing
We got
stuff.
pole position. That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to win the race. All right. I think we're ready. Now you can either start out neutral and drop it into first, or did what I did and put it in first and have your brake on. And so standing starts are interesting. I love standing starts. And I love qualifying, because if you do good qualifying, you have to start at the front. That's the whole part, the whole point of. Ooh. Woo-hoo. So 12 laps. Alright, so hang in there, folks. This is 12 laps of, well, let's see if we can stay in front and not screw up. Right on my beeline. Whoa. Oh man, gonna pause it. My little princess dog sleeps beside me, but he requires a blanket. Which is nice, you can pause races. Of course, when you're playing multiplayer, you're not going to be able to pause race. As I get further into this game, and as it releases, there's online racing, ranked. You're going to have to pass a license test to place you with other skilled racers. So I'm going to see how that pans out. Right now, I know there's some of the other content creators and partners have access. I haven't played multiplayer with any of them yet. There's possibility of that happening this weekend. So we'll see what happens there. That's probably going to be done just privately. Have a little bit of fun between other players. And alright, so far so good. We're ahead by a bit. So we're doing alright. I have set it, remember I set it to 50%. So I've been playing this a while. Well, about a day. So if you find that's too easy for you, just bump up that AI difficulty and they will be better. But you don't want to start off too hard. You get discouraged and then you don't want to play anymore. If the learning curve is too steep, then it's going to be pretty steep already. So you don't want to make it any harder than it has to be to start off with. You want to take it, oh, he's caught up to me again. I'm slow through that section. And you'll notice once you've got a couple of laps down, the tires are sticky, brakes are working better, the brakes have heated up a little bit, but you still got to be careful. Don't touch grass. Now your entrance into corners are going to be very important. If you're used to the Gran Turismo, the apex markers and stuff like that, you're not going to have those. You're also not going to have a suggested gear you're going to be in. All those kind of assists. The only assists you have really are the drive line here, where it changes color. Where it looks like it's going to suggest that. Notice if I'm going through a corner a little bit not too fast, a little bit faster, it's going to start changing to maybe more of a yellow. I'm just saying you're getting close to the speed where you might think about slowing down. See, it's yellow a little bit too. But if you hit it right, you're fine. You put the pedal to the metal. But here, of course, stay in second gear. Let's stay in second gear. We don't want to. Of course, I got the traction control on max, which is maybe a little bit overkill for this vehicle. Is pretty low powered, but you get into the high powered vehicles and you hit the gas out of the corner, you're gonna have to be very careful. Now, bottom right corner of our screen is some information there, and you can switch that information. Ooh, that was very close to the grass. And you can do that by your D-pad. But it's difficult. There we go. Up. Press up on the D-pad and you can scroll through your various that's tricky to do. And then you get your ABS traction control, brake bias. You can adjust that in race, but that's, yeah. the amount of concentration it takes to keep this car on the road right now, it's going to be very tricky to be doing that. So you press up on to choose, whoa, again, to choose which one you want, and then left and right to adjust those numbers, and down to scroll down. That's how that's the default setting. So if I want to turn off the ABS, I can do it if I want to knock down the ABS a little bit, but you're going to have to try to do that while you're on a little bit of a straight or something. So let's knock down the ABS to like 3. And you'll see that you probably stop a little bit better, but you're also going to tendency to lock up if you hammer on the brakes too much. Oops. Shifted one too many. There's other thing, front entry, you can adjust the entry roll and the rear entry roll too. Now, I've never was much of a settings guru, going in and changing all those settings for roll bar and stuff. So don't, unless you know what you're doing.
The car behind is gaining ground. Time to pull it out of the bag.
It's going to make your car probably worse. Well, we're only on lap 4, so I'm going to pause it here, stop recording, finish up, well, get close to, we'll come back when I'm almost done the race. How's that? All right. Just got 3 more laps. I thought we had 2 more laps, but I'm still in the lead. I haven't screwed up. So we're gonna finish this race in first place. Now, this is just a weekend race. You can pick any car and race, basically do a 1 race. There's no entry fee. It's just pick a car and go racing. And kind of like just an open deal. Now, it's kind of the only way you can go and take a car and test out a car is kind of do a weekend race, which is fine because you can quit and re-enter and stuff like that and fool around with the settings. So as of right now, there isn't really a test track feature where you can just go hit a track and do laps. At least not what I found. So again, this is a pre-release version, so things might get added or changed somewhat, or later on. I know there's already they're saying, you know, there will be things added, features added as things go on. So this isn't all. This isn't everything. But moving forward, I'm planning on doing testing mods, tracks, mostly tracks, but you know, cars and tracks will be mods. Ooh, and other features. Ooh, that's kind of like a death wobble. That if you oversteer, you kind of get into an
Leading comfortably.
oversteer.
The second place car isn't gaining ground, so keep it up.
Kind of situation, so you gotta be careful with that. Like that, kind of a little bit too much steering into the after the corner. Takes a fair bit of concentration to keep this up. It's doable though. If I could do it, you can do it. I'm not the best driver. Right, so. Yeah. Just be persistent. It's gonna be hard at first. That's the next video. I'm gonna jump into a slightly more powerful car, and probably gonna do car testing on this track because I'm familiar with the track. Or one of the other tracks I'm familiar with. This track seems to have a good mix of features, long sweeping turns. It's got a hairpin type turn at the first corner. Got a bit of a straight. We got a fast section, a couple of fast sections. So this and Monza, I like testing cars out on. At least on Gran Turismo I did, and it seems to be a good test of capability of a race car. See, our tires are starting to get a little bit yellow, which would, to me, would indicate that they're starting to wear that. Oh, I see this. So you can change the tire pressure. And we're not going to play with tire pressures probably at all for the first while. But there it indicates it's a hard compound too, and with the tire temperature, which is important.
1 to go.
So there we go, we're on the last lap. I don't mind the race engineer. It's not annoying, it just kind of gives a little bit of information now and then. Full throttle through that spot, at least with this car. I know with most cars in Gran Turismo, you can, well, it's tricky though. Go. I know I spent most of the time here on hood cam, because I just don't like the in-cab. I I know a lot of you like playing in cab, which is fine. I just like having full view of the racetrack, which is not very realistic, obviously. But I do like to have fun racing, and I don't have as much fun racing when I'm in the cab. And that's just the way it is, and that's why the option's there. If you want to race in car, you totally can do that. If you want to race on the roof, from the roof, if you want to race from behind, I never race third person behind us. There we go, finish line. The event. Ooh. Don't overcorrect. That kind of thing is deadly on a high-powered car. 26 seconds.
The car behind isn't making any ground. Maintain your pace and keep leading.
Did we really finish? No, 3 seconds ahead of second place. 8 seconds? Oh, maybe it's gonna... It's gonna take them a little while to hit the finish line, looks like. So that's at 50% hard level. Looks like it's not like a hard, easy,
got it,
hard,
mate. P1.
easy, hard, harder. It's 24 seconds. So we did all right. We didn't crash. Finished the weekend. Yes. And that's it. That was it. So that's, you don't get any money. You can, as I said, you can pick like this. The next race we're gonna do for the next video is this vehicle here. We're gonna try this one out in let's see. Oh, we got a couple of different. We have a few different. Oh, that's nice. Oh, purple. I like purple. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Hope that giving you an idea about what it's all about. And look forward to November 25th when this releases to everyone. Anyways, I'm Looney. Thanks for watching. And until next time, keep racing.